Welcome to the Allegheny County Library System Book Haul. These are books that we've recently purchased and are going to be hitting shelves soon, so see what's new this month.
Hi, I'm Allie with Allegheny County Library System. Today I am going to be doing our book haul where I highlight some of the new books that are going to be hitting shelves soon. First, I'm going to talk about some of the mystery thrillers, and in that category we have For Your Own Good by Samantha Downing. And this is about Teddy, who is a teacher. He is won Teacher of the Year at this kind of prestigious school, and he says his wife is very proud of him. However, no one has seen his wife in a very long time, and there's some mysterious murders happening on campus as well, and people are poking into his personal life, but he's just focused on doing his job. And if people get in his way, well, he'll do something about it. This has been getting a ton of buzz around it, and I've seen nothing but glowing reviews so far, so put this one on your radar. Next, we have The Therapist by B.A. Paris, and this is more of a psychological thriller. This is about a couple that moves into this kind of gorgeous neighborhood. When Alice decides she wants to get to know the neighbors, she finds a very dark secret about the house that they are living in, and she becomes more connected with the therapist that used to live there as well. So as she's trying to kind of question the neighbors to piece together what has happened in this neighborhood, the neighborhood is kind of very secretive about it and won't tell her, so this is her uncovering the truth and finds out that the neighbors are not quite all who they seem to be. The next one is The Lost Girls by Jessica Chiarella. A woman's sister, Maggie, disappeared years ago, and the character that we are following, Marty, has created this podcast to follow her sister's disappearance and trying to kind of uncover the truth of what really happened. She is also working together with Ava, who is trying to prove that her brother is innocent in a murder case and thinks that the answers lie in Maggie's disappearance, since there are so many similarities between Maggie's disappearance and this murder. However, the more they dig, the more they realize they don't really want to know the truth. Then we have Black Ice by Karen Gerhardsen. And this is more of a suspense full novel, and this is about this accident that kind of happened on this wintry pass some years ago, leaving two people dead. It is 4 years later, and we follow two different characters, and both have kind of been spurred by some sort of event that has caused them to remember the trauma of what happened at this pass and how these murders happened. And they are kind of on a path for revenge. They know what happened that night, but only one of the two was actually there, and only one of them actually left people to die. And so we, I believe, are uncertain of who is who, which one has done what. And then there is also someone who knows the full truth of what happened and is out to kill anyone who knows the truth rather than let the truth come to light. Next, I'm going to move on to the more historical fiction picks, and first we have Churchill's Secret Messenger, Alan Pallad. We follow Rose, who has kind of worked overtime after the death of her parents in transcribing these very confidential documents, and her fluency in French sparks the entrance of Churchill, so he recruits her to be one of his spies. She is sent into Nazi-occupied Europe during this time, uncovers secrets, and then she is assigned kind of a high-risk prison raid as well, and she meets people along the way and realizes that she has a lot more to lose than she had originally thought. And we have The Women of Chateau Lafayette by Stephanie Dray, and this takes place in 3 different time periods, and we follow 3 different women. So the first one is in 1774, and we are following a noblewoman who is trying to fight for America's independence. However, once the guillotine starts coming out and France starts threatening with the guillotine, she has to decide whether or not she's going to renounce the man that she loves, risk her life for a legacy. And then in 1914, it takes place in New York. We are following a young woman who is daunted by nothing, but after witnessing devastation of France, she decides that she is going to try to convince America to fight for what's right. And then we also follow in 1940 a French school teacher, and as the reality of Nazi occupation transforms her life, she makes a discovery that calls into question who she is and what she is willing to become. Next we have The Sunflower Sisters by Martha Hall Kelly, who also did The Lilac Girls, which was highly loved when it came out. This is about a union nurse who crosses paths with Gemma, who is enslaved to a Maryland plantation and is kind of sold off into the war efforts, and how their paths cross. Also follow a southern plantation mistress whose husband enlists, and how all of their lives are interconnected, and this follows some true accounts of things that happened within the Civil War. Then a contemporary fiction, we have A Million Reasons Why by Jessica Strasser, and this is about two women who are connected with a DNA test. One of them knows that the other is her half-sister, the other one does not, and her whole world comes crumbling down. She has this perfect life, and she now has to question everything that she knew and thinks that this DNA test is kind of destroying her life. The other woman, suffering from an illness, she's afraid no one will be there to take care of her son, and her life is falling apart, and she really needs a donor. So this is about them meeting, coming together, questioning everything that they knew, and trying to figure out what it means to be family. In some of our romance picks, we have The Summer Job by Lizzie Dent, and this is about a woman. Her best friend is a world expert on wine, and so when her friend cancels on this event, Birdie decides that she is going to take the place of her friend and pretend to be her friend in her place. So at this event, she ends up meeting this guy and really connecting with him. The only problem is that he thinks that she is someone else. So things can only go bad here. And then the last one of the romances is The Invisible Husband of Frick Island by Colleen Oakley. And this is about a woman who lives in a small town near the Chesapeake Bay area, and her husband ends up dying. And instead of really processing that and moving on and figuring out what that means, she keeps going on as if her husband is alive. And the whole town rolls with it. Also follow Anders, and he is a journalist, and he is trying to make a breakthrough. And he goes to the small town to kind of cover this festival that's happening, but instead he comes across a much more interesting story in that this town is pretending to talk to an invisible man. So he goes to try to uncover more about why this town is doing this, and also figure out what Piper is doing talking to this invisible man, and in the process he realizes that he's going to upend his life more than anyone else's. Quickly, just some big name authors that have books hitting our shelves soon. We have James Patterson, The Palm Beach Murders, Dean Koontz with The Other Emily. This cover looks very interesting. Karen Kingsbury with A Distant Shore, and then also Debbie McComber with It's Better This Way. So just some of their new ones that are going to be hitting soon to keep an eye out for. Thank you so much for watching this book haul. If any of these books have piqued your interest, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and we will see you in the next one. Bye!